Alright. We've had enough. Let me zoom in a little more. Okay. Go one by one. Context, this post is this. Alright. We can get this over. Let me lower the music. Alright. From your perspective, is the ship and is the ship AA and CV changes balanced? No. Not at all. It's one-sided. It's like you slapping like a kid, but then you get shot back by someone else. That's basically how it feels, this whole rework situation on TSC server. It's absurd how one-sided it is with the surfer ship and the CV interaction. It's just not good. It is only a mechanics test. They updated the carriers, aiming time, flight height, and stuff like that to make it a little more fluid, so I'm not too worried about it. But still, it all just depends on the balancing update that they decide to do with anti-air. Because right now, it's unplayable. You cannot do anything as a carrier. You can get some strikes off focusing battleships. Next thing you know, they implement a battleship that has the FAA on TSC server. And then it becomes unplayable. Okay, there we go. Next one. Let's fucking go. So tired of people refusing to engage with learning what the changes are, then getting mad about it. I feel like there needs to be a reprioritizing by content creators of this game to not be so goddamn negative. My karma is perma-0 because I play every class in the game, including subs and CVs, because I actually like the game. Then why are they always perma-banning the subs and CVs from clan battles and all tournaments? It's because even wargaming know they are not balanced to be in the game. They are there to sell more premium things. Both are correct. This I can vibe more with. I think there needs to be more people to actually enter this, come in to this new update, this rework, this proposed rework, first iteration, with an open mind. Not just bias, a lot of bias. I'm a surface ship player, so I hate carriers. Nothing will ever please me. But this is also correct. This I can understand. Because wargaming knows they are not balanced. They are unbalanced. That's why subs were actually reworked. They had their huge balance update, and then they got gutted, so now no one can really perform in the submarines anymore unless they are very good players, or if the enemy team has no idea what they're doing, and then they give the submarine the chance to perform. Meanwhile, carriers, they're being reworked right now. So only time will tell. I can guarantee you though, once the rework happens, we will see carriers in King of the Sea, clan battles, and other tournaments again. That's just the way it is. I can already see that happening. Probably 2025. Moving on. Alright, here we go. Now we start getting into the real reasons why I want to make this video. Glider 5858. Couldn't they have simply just have minimap spotting only? Just like we have in Cyclones. Remove the ability for fighter planes to spot ships entirely. Only spotter plane can spot ships. Just like the name, spotter plane. Buff fighter planes' ability to shoot down enemy planes, since that's what it's meant for, fighting planes. But no, they spend hours reworking everything with the most dumbest ideas. This game's worst enemy is their own developer. I responded, but I will just answer it again. First of all, couldn't we just have minimap spotting only, just like we have in Cyclones? We could. Do we want it? No. Did we test it? Yes, many times. Wargaming tested it. Not only Wargaming, Lesta tested it. And Lesta right now, with their Mir Kurabli game, is known to have a very, very wide variety of gimmicks and weird stuff that they're adding in. Yet, they did not add minimap only spotting. Why? It didn't work. Seems like it's a good idea, right? Easy fix. Poof, spotting gone. No, that's not correct at all. You have to actually view it by the big picture. Sure, if you add minimap spotting only, it'll be just like Cyclones. But that's not the goal of what the company and the devs want to push the carriers to be. They don't want the carrier class to be 1v1 oriented. They don't want the carrier class to be the initiators for what is happening. They want the carrier class to be a more supportive role. They want them to be able to engage while their teammates are engaging and spot for their team. Sorry, not spot for the team all the time. They will still want to add spotting capabilities, but they want the spotting to be reduced and push that more towards the submarines and the destroyers. Next one, remove the ability for fighter planes to spot ships entirely. Only spotter planes can spot ships, just like the name spotter plane. Now, remove the ability for fighter planes to spot ships. Okay, this makes sense, but it seems like you are not up to date with what they are doing on the TSC server. And I guess you aren't reading the TST updates either. So I will read it out to you because it seems that one person, such as yourself, is incapable of reading or keeping up with the devlog. So here we go. Maximum ship spotting range is reduced from 15 kilometers to 6 kilometers. Wow. Look at that. The patrol fighter consumable is already nerfed. Just like you said. Next, maximum plane spotting, the actual squadrons you're controlling, is reduced from 15 kilometers to 6 kilometers. Wow. What is Cyclone again? 8 kilometers, right? Wow. Crazy. It's almost like they added the mechanics of Cyclone without entirely removing minimap spotting. Strange. Next, buff the fighter planes to shoot down enemy planes, since that is what it's meant for, fighting planes. Can you go more in depth with what you're saying with this? Like, explain. How would you like them buffed? Don't just tell me, because I'm reading comments and I forward these feedback over to Wargaming. I use all your rants and requests in my own feedback when I'm talking to Wargaming. Like, how do you want this to be buffed? You have to explain it to me. Buff the fighter's ability to shoot down enemy planes. They already do. How do you want this buffed? Make them all like Essex fighters? Then what is the whole point of Essex? Interesting. Wasn't it fighters that got nerfed only? To only detecting planes at 6 kilometers and ships at 2. Patrol fighter consumable found on all squadrons on these carriers changed. Maximum ship spotting reduced from 15 to 2. So basically they have the Essex fighter downside. Okay. Maximum plane spotting. Oh, it's only for the fighters that's plane spotting. There you go. Anyways, partially fixed. But that's what the recon mode is for the squadron to spot the enemy ships. Same thing. But no, they spent hours reworking everything with the most dumbest ideas. Then can you contribute? Give me your feedback. How would you change the shit around? Because minimap spotting only is not going to fix anything. It's only going to fix a partial thing that only affects a very small portion of the game. In very small portions of the match, like total matches. You have to explain to me what you want. You can't just be like, oh, I'm hungry. Give me food. What do you want to eat? I'm hungry. Okay. Yeah, explain it, brother. Please. Okay. I'm going to say, oh, this one got me. 3 days ago, right when I went to my vacation, to my trip I was reading this when I was at the gas station. I'm going to say Ray, Mr. Tant 3082. I'm going to say Ray without trying to be nasty here, but you sound like the devs. Yes, man, this rework is a joke over... Alright, first of all, brother, you need to fix your punctuation. I'm like getting so confused. I was getting so confused reading this at the gas station. Without trying to be nasty here, but you sound like the devs. Yes, man, this rework is a joke, overcomplicated for the CV or the ships, but we just have to watch numbers as it is a numbers game. The minute players which off not playing CVs, why is there a comma here? They will start rolling back like they did 5 years ago. My brain needs to process your lack of English punctuation in this sentence. So this is one long ass sentence, so let me try to break it down. Okay, you don't want to sound rude, but I sound like the devs. Yes, this rework is a joke. It is overcomplicated for all the classes, but for right now we'll just wait, and so we can watch the numbers, as numbers are very important for the game. The minute that players start to not play carriers, the devs will start rolling back the rework like they did 5 years ago, which 5 years ago was when the first rework happened. Well, let me tell you this. Yes, rework happened way back then because players weren't playing the class. So there is a chance that maybe the rework will happen again because players will stop playing carriers if this rework goes through. But the thing is, this is the first public iteration for people to test out this new CV rework. Why are we being so harsh on the first iteration? This video was just my thoughts on the entire thing and what I thought. So you telling me I sound like a dev it's not really insulting at all. It's actually a good thing. I want to sound like a dev. I wish I was a dev. That would be pretty cool. But yes, overcomplicated. I even said in this video, it is overcomplicated. I don't know if you can read, but I also put it in the video's description as well. It is literally right here. I literally posted it. Where is it? Right here. I even pinned it on my own. Yes, it is overcomplicated. It is much needed though. This whole rework is much needed because it addresses the main issues of this class that it has been having for 5 years. It seems everyone who is watching this rework happen is confused or just have the wrong mentality that this rework is supposed to benefit the carriers in some way, shape, or form. It's not. It's never supposed to be. That's what the rework and balance is supposed to be about. Just like what they did with the submarines. They gutted the class, and yes, the numbers are dwindling. Or so we thought. On the NA server, we see submarines almost in every game. Go to tier 6, you see 2 submarines in almost every game on each side with a carrier. And this is after the submarine rework as well. The big nerf which they added the 3-kilometer hard zone where the torpedoes are just 10% of the total alpha damage. That is insane. A huge nerf. It basically kills shotgunning. And that change is the reason why Wargaming doesn't want to implement minimap spotting only. It would just be a band-aid fix. They don't want to do that. But this was the easiest answer to address submarines. So, going back into this one, yes, it is a numbers game. But just because a class is dwindling with players doesn't mean that they're going to do another rework. If it addresses the core issues that the class has on the game, with its interactions of all types of ships, they will leave it that way. Overmatch is an issue, but that doesn't stop Wargaming from releasing cruisers with 30 millimeters of armor. Deck armor. So, I personally don't see the big issue with the numbers dwindling. Because even if, for example, battleships having overmatch, they keep releasing more battleships with overmatch, people still play the cruisers or battleships with 30mm or 25, 27mm armor. People still play them too. All right, Dean in China #1. Good impression. Great start. Still does not fix the issue at all. Interactions surface ships have with CVs is a defensive one. You will never be able to deplane the CV now. The CV risks nothing. Tie a plane health to the CV health, so CVs do not have to worry only about attacking. They actually risk their ship like surface ships have to do. Alright, Mr. Dean in China #1. Again, I said it before. Let's take a step back. What could Wargaming be trying to shift their focus on with all of these changes? You can no longer deplane a CV, which is partially true. Flag has been changed, the FAA has been changed, the way how the AA mechanics has, the way that they operate has also been changed. So what does that make you think their focus is if it's not about deplaning a CV, what could it be? All these changes that they're adding in, the carrier can no longer replenish their plane that they lose mid-attack strike. The fact that carriers cannot see anything if the FAA is used properly, which is outside of the 7 km, used before the planes enter the 7 km AA zone. The fact that carriers have to fly in this demented travel mode the whole time and only be able to spot when either 1, they enter attack, 2, they enter recon mode, which is a gimpy mechanic. I don't know why the recon mode exists, or 3, an allied surface ship spots the enemy target. That's the only way. So all of these things together, it makes you wonder, what is their focus? What is their focus on this whole thing? It's not about it's not about deplaning a carrier. It's about negating the strike from happening. Isn't that kind of strange how all this comes together? You'll never be able to deplane a CV. Yes, you'll never be able to deplane a CV anymore with this current iteration, because the focus shifted from that to a new one. They're trying to focus everything on negating the strike. If you look at the dev blog, it literally says on their 3 main goals that they want to do. They want to address spotting, which they did. They want to make it so that interactions on the same target is also addressed, which they are doing. Next, they want to feel that the consumables for anti-air or the anti-air skills are just not as impactful. They want to address that, which they are. The FAA is really fucking annoying now, and it's a very, very strong consumable if the ship has access to the consumable. And also if it's used properly. I still see people just using it during the strike, which is weird. But, yes, it still does not fix all the issues that surface ships have with carriers. The only thing is a defensive one. Then what do you want? What else would you have? You can't have offensive capabilities against the aircraft carrier. Now, this is just dumb. I don't know what you're smoking, but I mean, I see BBs in the back of the map sniping all the time on Aegis server. I don't know if you play on Aegis server. I think maybe you should, but I mean, you should see what the BBs are doing over there too. Most of the time, they're sitting in the back. Meta is slowly shifting on Aegis server right now, but for the most part, they're pretty chill. Most of them are chilling in the back. Who knows what you're doing? Because most of the time, I mean, on the TST server, it's pretty memey. Dirt 1061. The only issues I have with carriers was their ability to spot things, ability to bully someone, low risk in their game, low risk to their time in game. Not sure this update really fixes anything in my opinion. Have you tried the TST server? Have you tried out the carriers like on the TST server, or are you just reading it and then just answering it like how you're saying, how some people say this test ship is going to be dog shit after the devlog just comes out? You never played, like if you never played it, you can't say anything. This is just, I'm reading something that just says, I will not install it, I don't need to install it, I'll just watch YouTube videos, read about it, and that's it. And to give my own opinion. It's not fixed. was their ability to spot things. Perma spotting is addressed with this TSC update. I highly recommend trying it out because tomorrow's the last day. Ability to bully someone. Wow, if you're a battleship player, sucks to be you because this is what the shift is focusing right now. Because they're trying to make it so that DDs, smaller ships, lighter ships, and cruisers have the ability to actually play the game instead of being perma lit and not being able to go to a certain position because the carrier is always perma spotting them. It doesn't have to be their direct carrier actually targeting the DD or targeting the cruiser. Them just trying to strike any other ship will spot everyone else around. So that's what they're trying to address. Low risk to their time in the game. Brother, you play battleships, just aim better. Shoot the carrier's hull, not their fucking side armor plating that you can't get Citadel. Just shoot them, man, for pens. Or you can push up and try to shoot them. If the carrier sits far away in the back corner of the map, they're not doing anything. Their travel time is too long. Okay? It's a whole game about time. If the carrier is far away, fuck it. Who cares? You worry about your own game. Focus on your own positioning so that carriers can't perma hump you the entire game. It's not a really hard thing to do. Why is it that I am not even that good of a surface ship player, but when I play surface ships, I never get hard abused by a carrier? It's so strange, isn't it? It's almost like I'm just respecting that I'm respecting the carrier that's in my game. If he wants to perma hump me, let him perma hump me. That means he's not humping someone else the entire game. Kind of crazy, right? Okay. Jay Werner, 8415. Well, at least they fixed the issue of planes trying to kill you, not getting shot at all, and hey, CVs can actively defend themselves without launching planes. That's a nice addition to the gameplay. That is a good first step, not to address the fighter consumable. Fighters, as they were in real life, should be first line of defense, not a last resort to kill a few planes. They should not be glorified spotter plane squadrons. If anything, fighters having the ability to spot should be a skill instead of an interceptor. I like that idea. That's what I also thought too. Fighters should be having limited spotting capabilities or no spotting at all. And if you want to spot with the fighter, you have to have it be a skill. Maybe a 4-point skill. It allows spotting. I like that idea. That's what I thought too. That was one of my feedbacks that I was thinking about writing it up, but I never wrote it down. I like that. Good start. What's next? Do rocket planes still become immortal when they do their attacks? Immortal. What do you mean immortal? Do rocket planes still become immortal? When has this been a thing? If so, I really wish they could just scrap them. Oh, he's talking about the rockets. The machine gun animation. Okay. The very idea of something becoming immune to damage for any period of time in the game, like WoW's, where there's no passive healing and healing is limited, is just bullshit. If anything, just give us a squadron of bombers with depth charges for the lulz. Hopefully, escorting your teammates actually helps. Yes, I run the FAA on my USDD. It was going so well, too. It was going so well, too, man! And maybe some of the old AA beasts will return to their former glory. Like Texas or the Atlanta sisters. Oh shit, here we go. It's Hoshikawa Hikari. I remember this user. It comments on a lot of my videos. For surface ships, isn't AA back to the way it was during RTS CVs? They're just complaining for the sake of complaining. I like you. I agree. It's not really the same as rework as RTS carriers was. It's just like extra steps, like extra floor amount of steps. If you want to compare it back to the way it was in rework carriers, because ships were actual no-flight zones. You just lose your planes left and right. But that's not what the game is about anymore. It's not about deplaning, it's about strike negation. Planes are now considered as some sort of subs with no sonar torp. Actually, he's right. Kind of right. Yeah. Now I think about it, it's actually right. Yeah. Mr. Yi Chen Xiao 8772, you are pretty spot on with this one. I agree. It's just submarines, but flipped. Instead of submerging, they're up in the air now. Nice. But except you get to bully the ships a lot harder. Ah, Stube. We meet again. Can't wait. I'm pretty sure this is the same Stube I interacted with before. 5767. Can't wait in 2 years. In 2-something years, when this is all has time to sit in the game, and all the ironic and hilarious cope garbage people will use in the arguments as statements as I played before the second rework, ew, fucking annoying things. Let's not nerf the alpha or any strikes. Thanks bro. It's never about the stats of the ship, no. Gotta make it something gimmick gameplay elements. Why are they so scared to nerf damage and speed? I agree, Stube. I agree. Even though the people you interact with are kind of sus, I agree with your comment here. Thing with wargaming is they don't like to nerf the alpha damage of anything. If anything, they'll set that as the last resort. What they like to do is make a whole, around. You know that picture where it's a guy in the center who's like thirsty or something, and he's in the what they call it, the fork in the road. One side is like it's like 1 mile. It's like 1 mile to like water. The other side is a different, it's in kilometers, but it's like much shorter. But the guy can't read it for exact same water, but he chooses the mile instead. It's kind of like that. MVR bombs were an issue. What do? They had to add a gimmick to it. They had to make it accuracy very worse, very poor, instead of just nerfing the alpha. Why? Because RNG keeps players in the game. Yeah, it's shit to play against, it's shit to play as, but when you win, and it feels so good to win. That's why they like to adding those kind of gimmick stuff. Unfortunate, but this is just how it keeps the players to come back. You get that lovely salvo on a cruiser across the map, and you just death strike him. Wow, it feels so good. It feels the best thing in the world. Full broadside cruiser in your face, and you just unleash your load on him. 5 kilometers. Overpins, splurges into the water. What do? Throw your keyboard outside the window, not touch the game for like 10 hours, and you wake up the next day, it'll relog in. That's just the way things work. RNG. Cheeseburb 7810. This is just the current CVs, just a bit more complicated and unfun to play. Ouija be smoking the good stuff. I agree. But it still addresses the core issues that the class has, so this is a step in the right direction in my opinion. Oh, it's old school gaming. Here we go. Oh my god. Oh my god, he got a lot of stuff to talk about. Oh brother, let's go. Okay, hold up. Didn't just stoop down to console once? Yes, I have actually, but that was to expand my content for this channel. I was also very tired of the video game at that time too, so I mean last year it was just bleh. Here we go, Mr. Old School Gaming 4763. It's a miracle that you haven't been banned off my YouTube channel yet, but you're good content, so here we go. Nothing regarding this BS is easy for the surface ship player. For context, I said in my YouTube video that surface ships just have to focus on a few things, which is 1, knowing if they have a DFAA, knowing their 7-kilometer radius, looking at the minimap and keeping track of where the planes are, using the DFAA before they enter the range, and then that's it. Priority sector is even easier. You don't have to look on each side. You could just press the button and it'll just go on a timer. Pop it again, go on a timer. Simple. That's the only thing that changed for surface ships. Nothing else changed. The whole gameplay changed is for the carriers only. Now, there's this BS. Nothing about this is easy for the surface ship player. We are getting hammered by subs, destroyer torps, Yamato salvos, and during all of that, we had to take a little time out to try and figure out what altitude different planes are and what to use inside the circle and outside the circle. This is exactly the person I'm talking about. I'm so glad we found him, because you guys can see what I'm reading in my while I'm at work. I'm reading the YouTube comments, bro. I'm literally about to break my keyboard at work. Are my DFAA working? What the fuck is Dazzle? Are the planes dancing? Meanwhile, CV player is dolphining up and down and baiting out every DFAA in the match while losing one plane. It's Ray a feet guy. I do like Sparkle. I'll show it right here. Boom. Anyways, back to the comments. All you need to do is press DFAA before he enters the AA bubble. Yeah, sure, but how will I know my waste of a DFAA will even affect the squadron? What if he just flies straight through my bubble at high altitude? Then it's just a waste of consumable that did fuck all. If this goes live, no surfer ship will have any DFAA left after 6 to 7 minutes. They will all have been wasted when the CV guy just happened to fly around outside someone's AA bubble. Yes. No ship will have any DFA consumables left after 6 to 7 minutes. But that's 6 to 7 minutes of the carrier not doing jack shit. Mr. Old School Gaming, you've been a lovely commenter of my channel. And I appreciate all the popcorn that you've given me to read all these years. But I think today might be the final day you existed on my YouTube channel, because this is just idiotic. I don't know what kind of IQ you're running. I don't know what you got on your SAT. Maybe a minus one of the N zeros of the score on the SAT. Who knows? But this is just... It's not hard, bro, to just look at the minimap, see when the planes are flying near you, and then you can just press the FAA. You don't even have to use your new priority sector anymore. Just use the FAA and that's it. Is my DFA working? It'll say when you have the blind effect. What the fuck is Dazzle? How about reading the patch notes and actually answering that yourself? Are the planes dancing? Maybe if you are having packet loss or latency issues. Meanwhile, CV players just dolphining up and down and baiting out every... Okay, but yet remember, DFA is almost a minute long. It's 40 seconds, I think. So if he waits 40 seconds, that gives 40 seconds for your team to do something or you to reposition before the carrier comes back around for another strike. During those 40 seconds, he can't spot you. He has to fly away, either high altitude or away from the spotting zone if he's in recon mode. So what is the issue? Is it just too difficult to actually like look at the map and or also just think about how time hindrance like the DFA is? Have you played CVs? Yep, many times. Have you ever played surfer ships? Bro has played carriers. He played carriers. He definitely played carriers. He played a lot of carriers. Wait. Maybe. I tried to believe. What about ranked? Sure. Huh? What? He never plays ranked? Doesn't even play carriers in ranked. It's the easiest game mode. How can you say you play aircraft carriers when you don't even have... When you make up 1% of your total games, bro? Check Div 3. All battles. It's not even 50%. How can you say you play a... I'm gonna just comment this because this guy has a very long history with me. I'm getting slowly tired of him. We go back. Ensign Cthulhu. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. You commented a few times, and I've seen you around many places. So let's see what you had to say about this one. I was watching a couple of streams last night, including yours, and your comments on adjusting the size of Hakuryu's attack formations occurred separately to me. Oh. I'm glad someone else noted what's happened with dive bombers. The reticle starts out way in front, but it's also misleading. When it comes to time to attack, it just tucks right under the German AP dive bomb reticle. That is true, actually. Okay. Ensign Cthulhu made a very good point here. This is true. I don't know if you guys have... let me stop the music. I don't know if you guys have ever noticed this, but if you guys hop on to TST, you play any carrier with a dive bombing. Not carpet bombing like Audacious, but I mean like dive bombing like Midway. The reticle that you are flying in high altitude with is a lie. Because you're flying at max speed all the time. So let's say, was it like 180, 190 knots or something like that? But then when you go in for an attack run, you can only go cruising speed, which is like 160, I think. So that speed adjustment and that limitation actually makes the reticle much closer to you. And then when you go in for the dive, it tucks it right under your ship. He's right about this. I don't know why nobody has ever said something like this to Wargaming. This is what I've been experiencing as well. The reticle is a lie, so you never truly know where to aim your reticle. And it's so strange to me how they let this be a thing. Sure, it's a mechanic test, this whole rework, but something like this should be optimized as well, in my opinion. Like, sure, it comes down to feel, but the reticle is also very wrong as well. And for me, I rely heavily on the reticle because I like to get like the pinpoint, like perfect drops. But yeah. Ensign Cthulhu, I remember he was here. I think he commented on one of my streams like once during this. And yeah, I said it multiple times. Haku's attack needs to be adjusted for the torpedo bombers. It's way too much dipping down, waiting for the prep time, aiming time. Oh, it's too much. So I'm so glad that they adjusted it now to a 3 size and 4 attack. So thank God. Yay. Good comment, Mr. Ensign Cthulhu. You actually commented good for once. Coco. So for the rockets, do you think that we should remove the machine gun delay again with this mechanic? Honestly, it's what I said. I think they should remove the machine gun delay with this. Personally, I truthfully, I think that they should remove the machine gun mechanic with this. Because this rework is a thing where it adds so much like prep time to your strikes. And the ships can see when you're coming in for a strike and they could just turn. And that thing, on top of that machine gun delay, I think it should be removed or adjusted, the timers. For a second, I thought this was Notzer. Maybe it's Notzer. Giving 3 penalties: altitude change, attack approach, and machine gun fire. It's too harsh on the attack aircraft. I agree. Jen Gals 781. Gameplay on TST and it was chaotic and nothing to do with normal flow of randoms or PvP modes. How can this be valuable for the crucial tests like this? Luigi has no idea what they're doing or what the player base wants. How did they get to this point when pretty much everyone just wanted planes to limited minimap spotting? This whole thing is an overdone joke. I'm getting more and more frustrated if that is even possible, and I will most likely stop playing. Can't stand it anymore. Again, see you in next month. But yeah, again, minimap spotting doesn't work. Throw it out the window. Just don't even ask for that anymore. This just doesn't work. Bass John. I played a few games last night on the test server in Azawa in Worcester, and I do not see the AA being better at all. If anything, I find it worse until you have got it buffed up. Sure, the blinding feature of the FAA is cool, but the general AA seems crappy to me. I generally feel like a lot of these people are talking about the squadrons like torpedo squadrons. We had this discussion on the we had this discussion on the WoW's official. On the WoW's official, someone was like, AA is so weak and carriers are too strong. An MVR squadron can get its strike off and not have any losses. And I said, post a clip. The motherfucker posts a Flamu clip. He was in a Holland, striking another, like two more ships in the area. He had his ZFA active, and MVR was coming in with torpedo bombers and striking an allied ship. Flamu says something like, wow, he got the strike off through my anti-air. Now, what exactly happened? MVR was taking AA fire. He was in the attack run already. And he was too close to the Holland so the flak doesn't spawn in his face, which means he doesn't eat the flak clouds. He popped his torpedo squadron heal, so that negated a lot of the damage taken, and he got the strike off. Okay, 3 torps released, landed on the target, boom. Oh my god, AA is so weak. But then I kept watching after that. MVR lost his entire squadron after that strike. So that makes me wonder, is people like this individual talking about the torpedo squadron? What if they don't know that torpedo squadron has a heal? Or that MVR dive bombers have a heal? Do they only focus on like before the strike happening and not after the strike? In this case, what if the midway striking your ship was healing through the DFAA? I don't know. It just makes me wonder exactly. I'm just like, post the clip. Share the replay. Let me take a look at it, so I can explain to you what exactly is happening. Dude, I chewed the guy out on the official server. This was last week, by the way, and I still remember it because I was baffled by the fact that people were like, think of it like this: how can the MVR get the strike off so easily? AA does nothing. Not to mention, the reason why Flamu also thought that his AA doesn't do anything is because he got no plane kills. The motherfucking Worcester got all the plane kills, or the battleship that he was striking got all the plane kills. Not Flamu. Yes, it's dumb that the carrier can get the squadron's attack off it like that, but brother had to use his entire squadron to get the attack off, and then he had to use the heal as well. After he got the strike off, he flew up to the high altitude, dead, all gone, all 9 planes obliterated. AA is too weak? I don't know.